Oh, okay, we're live. What's up, everybody? It's Traveling Tony. I'm here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. It's Saturday night. I just had Bible study. I took a nap, so I decided to get on here and talk. So I'm going to be drinking soda and caffeine, stay up for a bit. Usually I'm asleep by now. But the topic is repatriation. Before we get into repatriation, people should understand the definition because they're talking about the repatriation movement, Black Americans going back to Africa. It's not repatriation, it's more like migration or immigration. Um, Repatriation typically refers to the process of returning individual or groups to their country of origin or citizenship. We are Americans, African Americans, Black Americans, whatever American you are American. So that is your origin. Actually, when they tried the movement in the 18 and 1900s, late 1800s, 1900s, early 1900s, most people, most slaves or former slaves did not want to return to Africa. They said they're good. They had no interest in returning. So the movement actually failed miserably. People don't talk about it, and that's why it's not really brought up in history. They never mentioned it in social studies in school in America at all because it failed. It wasn't something that bore a lot of fruit. Now, with this immigration movement, we have to understand we're outsiders. You know, these aren't our countries. We are outsiders moving to these countries. A lot of people don't do proper research before they go to a country. They just show up, or they make sure it's safe, or they may look for certain factors like, is there a Muay Thai gym or a boxing gym, or, you know, I mean, a certain aesthetics, maybe like dental, how is the dental services and stuff in that nature in the country. They look at things like that. But we're going to get into this some more. Cultural differences, right? Big cultural differences. Like I just did Msambazi. That's like what you do as a Catholic Christian for marriage. They explain to you marriage roles. So I went there. They were just saying in Swahili. I have the video dropping next week about that. But in Swahili, they're saying, okay, here are the marriage roles. A woman's supposed to do this. A woman's not supposed to go into bed at night and not make sure her man isn't satisfied or whatever. As a wife, you know, as a wife, you must know your duties. But at the same time, as a husband, you must know your duties. A husband that can't provide is essentially a woman. This is what the priest said. You know what I mean? A man that cannot provide is essentially a woman. This is culturally. These are all locals there. I'm the only American in this Bible study. It's a marriage seminar you have to attend before you get married in Tanzania. So you do the seminar, then they announce your wedding, and then you could get married. They have to announce the wedding first before you get married. But in the marriage seminar, they basically explain to you like divorce is not an option. Understand how to deal with your partner, understand your role as a man, understand your role as a woman, understand your roles as husband and wives. They were even talking about when children are involved, when you have a child. They were saying mtoto. A lot of the words, it was mostly in Swahili, but I know some Swahili words, so I got a gist of some of it. It's just that I couldn't tell like the integral details of Swahili. I don't know. I just know like, you know, 2-year-old words, 3-year-old words in Swahili. That's certain greetings and things of that nature. But yeah, gender roles are very important here. A lot of people come to these countries and don't realize that it is a culture shock. It is totally different. You know, we grew up in a society in America where they have 50-50 and things of that nature. They're not promoting that here. You know, this is straight from the horse's mouth going to the marriage seminar. They're not promoting 50-50 and things of that nature. They're not telling women, you know, go to work and bust your ass and, you know what I mean? Like, they're not doing all that. They're saying everyone has a job and we have to abide by that. You know what I'm saying? But now we're going to get into what the lady was saying in the video. So she was saying Tanzania, well, I don't know if she was saying specifically Tanzania, but she was saying that in these African countries, when we say something negative, they tell us we're not African, they don't want us here, to get out. Is that true? 100%. 100% that is true. That is definitely true. And it depends, like what you say. I'm going to give my example, right? So I'll give a YouTube example. My second video, I've only been on YouTube 6 months. My second video, I made an assumption since I was in Nairobi, Kenya. I was like, white people own these apartments in Kenya, right? It was an innocent misunderstanding. I just didn't know, right? Crucified by Kenya. I never said I didn't like Kenya. I love Kenya, things of that nature. Crucified, people coming at me, all types of stuff. I'm firing back, which I shouldn't have done. I should have handled it a different way. But that's just an example, you know, like you could say something that's very minuscule as a Black American and they start using it against you. What do you know? You're a Black American, you know, and that's when you say negative stuff. Now, if you say positive things, it's cool. If you only say positive things, it's cool. Nobody has any issues. When you come here and you start critiquing the country and stuff like that, they be like, whoa, hold on, buddy. You ain't even from the continent. You're a Mzungu. Now, anybody not from the continent is considered a Mzungu. If you're Nigerian, South African, even like Egyptian, you're not a Mzungu. You're from Africa. But when you're from America, England, Canada, even if you're Black like me, I'm darker than most of these people out here. You know what I'm saying? I could argue my roots might run deeper than yours. You know, like so they don't care about that though. Like they don't care. We are Mzungus. They don't want us critiquing their countries and things of that nature. Do they? Okay, now do they want us here in Africa? They want our dollars. They want our money. Do they treat us bad? No. Is this the best place we're going to be treated as Black people? 100%. Around the world, Africa, whichever country you like that fits your personal needs, that place is going to treat you better than anywhere else in the world. As a Black person, especially a darkie. You're a darkie like me, Africa is the best place for you. You know what I mean? But we are still outsiders. And you just have to understand we are outside. We don't understand tribal information and internal workings of a tribe. Drinking sodas in my throat. Yeah, we don't understand how it works, the integral workings of a tribe, how, let's say, for example, today, right? I put it in the video. They were talking about the Chaga. They say, the Chaga is a very cheap tribe. So they made a joke. It was like, okay, I'm sorry to all the Chaga here that have to pay the fee for the marriage seminar. And everybody was laughing because it's an inside joke. It's a national joke. People know their tribes in these countries and they're laughing at the Chaga like, ha, 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 yeah, you guys are so cheap. Outsiders, you know, you don't know about the Chaga. Let's say I'm a Black American. My girl is Hey Hey or Sakuma or Maasai. You know, you don't know nothing about the Chaga really besides maybe brief interactions with a Chaga or something, maybe negative, and your woman might tell you, oh, this tribe is known for this. I knew about the Chaga because I traveled around and I've been here for a minute. So I understood the joke a little bit. But I've only been here about 2 years. I haven't been here my whole life. People who've been here their whole lives, they know things about other tribes. I only know maybe like 5 or 6 tribes total, you know? There's like, what, 40 something tribes in Tanzania, 50 tribes? It's a lot of tribes in Tanzania. But yeah, culturally, we're on the outside of these countries. So they don't want to hear our opinions. You know, according to them, we don't know nothing about Africa, so we shouldn't be talking about Africa in a negative way. If we're speaking positively, like I said, it's totally fine. When you start speaking negatively, they will be at you with the pitchforks. You know what I'm saying? All the nice stuff will turn into abusive language. Leave the country. We don't want you. It goes from you're welcome to leave the country. Don't want you. Now I haven't experienced that in Tanzania. I've actually, since English is a second language here, I've actually had people misunderstood what I was saying and thought I didn't like Tanzania when I was saying, "Oh, I love it here." I live here from America. I moved from America here. They were thinking I was saying I didn't like Tanzania, so they would say, "Oh, Pole Sana, oh Pole." So they were like apologizing for my experience here being negative. That is the only time that's ever happened to me. I've been to 12 countries, over 12 countries. I have said, I wasn't always the most mature. I've grown up. I'm 32 years old, been living overseas. I have a total of like 7 years overseas living. So I've been growing and learning, you know. They don't teach us a lot of this stuff in America about these other cultures, how to properly interact. I learned through the military how to interact with people from other countries, having to deal with TSNs, or third country nationals, stuff like that. When I was working the gates, being security forces, being a cop, you're dealing with, people from Kyrgyzstan. They're working alongside you. You have to get along. International relations is a big part of being in the military, especially being overseas. So you have to maintain international relations. Any international incident could turn into a huge problem. And the military would fry you. If you are the wrongdoer in an international incident, you are done. They're serving you up. So I learned real quick how to deal with foreigners and stuff. These are their countries. Even though we're coming back to Africa and stuff like that, we are still outsiders. We don't understand most of the stuff here because we grew up way different in America. America doesn't teach this stuff. Um, what else do I want to tell you guys about Africa? So, distinctions, how they would see us versus a Chinese person or a white person. Oh, first off, if you come to Africa and you're on some Black Power stuff, like F the white man, excuse me, F the white man, Black Power, the fist, stuff like that, always talking about white people this, white people that, they're not going to join the hate the white people bandwagon here in Africa. You know, it's just not going to happen. Like they don't have, especially East Africa, they love white people here. They love white people. They haven't had the negative interactions with white people like we have in the West. Or with fair-skinned people, the Portuguese, the Spaniards, whatever we dealt with in the West. You know, they haven't had those interactions. So to them, excuse me, us like I'm Tanzanian, but to them, Chinese, Indians, whatever, is pretty much the same as Black Americans. Like they give us like a pass as Black Americans. They don't see us as rich as the Chinese or the white and stuff like that. To me, I think that's in my favor. Some people might be offended. You know what I'm saying? Like the priest, and I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? The priest told my wife, like, oh, my fiance, oh, does this Black American guy have money? Is he able to support you? Um, are you sure this guy is going to be able to take care of you? Like, he's heard things about Black Americans not having money and stuff like that. Am I taking care? Is she taking care of me? Because her last name, her last name, her family is pretty known. So like they were thinking like I'm just leeching on her for money, even though I take care of everything. It's just an assumption. Most Black American guys that come out here and get girls, they take care of everything. It's just known. But it's the air of jealousy. They don't really want us to marry their women. It's cool to come here and spend the money, but coming here and getting their woman and leaving with them, or living here with their women, starting a family, stuff like that. Not everybody wants to see that. Not everybody wants to see that. I peeped that. They say it in Swahili. They'll say slick shit in another language. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they realize you don't understand the language. But like I said, I've been around the world. I would say Africa is our best option. This is the last haven for black, not just black men, black women too. You could come live here, cool. But even as a black woman, as a black Western woman coming here, you're gonna have to understand it's a culture shock. It's gonna be a totally different dynamic from America. I think for you guys especially, you need to understand what you're getting into. You guys come here, you're gonna be someone's second or third girlfriend. They do so. Okay, about the polygamy and stuff like that, culturally and stuff like that, right? They don't do the polygamy like outright, multiple girls live into the house. What they do is the guy's married, he'll have like another girl in another house somewhere, which he's not married to, just a regular girl. He pays her bills, stuff like that, goes over there, deals with her, goes back to his family. Boom. So dudes will have multiple families, but the other only one official family, and the other families are just, like the way that they'll put it, like bastard children, stuff like that. They go over there, they help with the rent, the bills, and all that stuff. But to me, I see Tanzania like Japan, except for they do like foreigners here. Japanese don't really like foreigners like that. They don't care. But overall, things here are kept within country. Overall, things in Tanzania are kept made in Tanzania. They like to play their own music. They want to keep their country the way it is. That's why it's so hard to own property and start businesses here as foreigners, because they don't want foreigners coming in and changing the way their country is. So I understand that. We have to understand that as well. Even though, like, man, this country's so cool. I wish I could just, be a dual citizen here, get property, stuff for the cheap, stuff like that. But if everybody did that, it wouldn't be cheap anymore. It wouldn't be the same country anymore. It would change. The cost of living would go up for everybody else. The government will have to start paying people more money, stuff like that. People will start to feel entitled. I'm gonna give another example about when I had a negative experience in Africa, and they started telling me I wasn't African and I should leave. When I was in Uganda and I was taking an Uber, I paid the guy the exact change, right? Uganda, I paid the guy the exact change. See the sky. Oh, can you see the sky here? See the stars. Yeah, it's music time. Paid the guy the exact change, Uganda. Thought it was cool. I was like, all right, man, have a good day. He was like, man, what's wrong with you black Americans? I was like, what? He was like, you guys are so cheap. You can't give me extra 5,000 UGX. Come on, man, it's just 5,000. Even some of the bolts, and it's not just Uganda. I'm just using that as an example. I didn't experience it in Kenya at all, but like Uganda, they were more brazen with it. Tanzania, they'll kind of smile and say, "Oh, can we, get some extra money?" Which is cool. Like if it's a positive thing, I'll be, "Oh, here's an extra 1,000 TSH or whatever, an extra 2,000, whatever." But in Uganda, it was like they just were like, I don't know, aggressive about me not giving them extra money, me not wanting to tip, and it's not common for Africans to tip and stuff like that. But when they seen I was American, it's like they expected more out of me. They expected me to act the same way the white boys and the Chinese act, and that's the disconnect, I think. Since they see us all as outsiders, they think we're all supposed to act the same way, and that is incorrect. And they get these narratives, these negative narratives about us. But it's not just us they speak negatively about too either. It's even more so, I would say Nigerians. Nigerians get the worst end of the stick in Africa, as far as what I've seen. You know, everyone speaks negatively about Nigerians. You know, oh, I don't like them. I don't like them. But they're not Mzungus. This is their continent. You know, so now if we were to migrate back to Nigeria, do I think they would accept us in Nigeria and allow us to have opinions? I don't think so either. I think if we made it a big deal, if we went back to Nigeria and Ghana and we made it a big deal, like, hey, we are here. My DNA, I am Nigerian, I am Ghanaian, you know, I am here with my people, technically, and and you can show your DNA, this is your people, then maybe, maybe. But East Africa, I could say no, because we're not. Now, if you were Ugandan American and you went to Uganda or Kenya, Tanzania, you came back, they would kind of still not see you as fully one of them, but you are one of them, if you could kind of understand what I'm saying. But now, when you're coming from, like, I don't know, like, if you, let's say you were born in Jamaica, moved to America, or even if born in America, no ties to East Africa at all, and you come here and you start saying things like, oh man, I see guys say this too. Oh man, they don't wear deodorant. They stink. You start telling people, oh, they stink. Why don't you guys wear deodorant? I see Americans do this sometimes too. Like man, no. Okay. Do people know the history of deodorant? It's very easy to Google. You know, where was deodorant created? You know what I'm saying? It's created in America, Philadelphia. So how would they have access to something Western on demand like that? Obviously, it's an import. You know what I'm saying? They use body sprays. You know, people say Africans are dirty, but realistically, they're very clean. They don't use, like, we only use toilet paper in America, right? When we're cleaning ourselves. They have like the bidet stuff. They straight hose themselves down. You know, they're clean. They don't smell. The armpit stuff, I think that's just from the heat and no deodorant. I use deodorant. I buy deodorant. Some people do use deodorant, but it isn't the most common thing because it's not native to them. That's native to Americans and Westerners. So that's why they're not big. Even in the supermarkets, they don't have the best selection of deodorant. I can't be like, oh, I'm gonna get a Degree 24-hour cool antiperspirant, stuff like that. They don't have all that. They have a very sparse selection of deodorant. I'm using Dove now. You know, before I was a Degree man. Now I'm only using Dove. That's what they have available. Even with things like protein, there's only one brand of protein in Tanzania. You know, protein is an American thing. Protein powder is an American thing, you know. What else? So back to the jealousy aspect. Now, jealousy, I notice that's mainly because we're young. You know, they're not jealous of the older people. They're jealous of us younger people. We're young. We're living in another country. We, you know, we have their women, their local women, or a woman. Women mean multiple guys with multiple different women, whatever, using plurals. And they see us living a life that is relaxed. You know, at one of my hotel style apartments, one of my fully serviced apartments before I got my house, right? Before I got my house and shit, I was staying like how all YouTubers and nomads stay. I was in Airbnbs, fully serviced, paying too much money for, you know, some bullshit. And they would say, oh, why don't you tip us, you know? It's like, yo, I'm paying $1,500 a month for rent in Africa for a fully serviced thing, you know what I mean? Why would I tip you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? It's like they felt that sense of entitlement and they see you as cheap if you're not going above and beyond to give them extra money like the other Westerners. That's the best way I can put it. Like the other Westerners, you know. They're expecting money. And my family didn't like that, to be honest. And this is just real, me really talking. You know what I mean? My family wasn't feeling it because of that. You know, they weren't ready. So before you come to Africa, just understand sometimes some people, it's not everyone, it's not every person that's like, oh, this guy's just a check. You know, there's a lot of people here with money that don't care you're an American and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of people who are trying to get money, who are struggling, and they're looking for opportunities, not to rob you or anything like that. It's not like a violent type thing. But they'll say like, oh, could I get extra money? So just don't get annoyed. Basically have patience. That's what I'm saying. Have patience here in Africa. You know, have patience. Come here, be patient, be polite. You could turn people down. You could turn people's requests down without being vulgar. And you know what I mean? That's how they do it. They ask the other locals for money because in Africa it's pretty much like a class system. Either you have money or you don't. You know, and if they think you have money, they're gonna ask you for money, even if you're a local. But the locals go about it different when they're denying them. They're not rude about it. You know, they're not like, yo, get the fuck out my face. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen some Americans say some things overseas. The locals are like, oh, Pole, you know, I can't give you money. Sorry. You know, maybe next time I'll give you some money. I'll help you out. Their 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 approach is like, oh, okay. It's just more humane, I guess. It's a more humane approach. You treat them like a human, not like a piece of garbage who is just begging you for money. Yeah, man. But as far as the jealousy, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Be a little patient. Know that you know dudes are gonna see you um, living the life that they dream of living here in this country, and you're a foreigner too. So you're a foreigner coming here living a dream life, especially a young foreigner living a dream life that these guys want. Which you're a woman, she's not working, you guys aren't stressing about bills, stuff like that. Of course, there's gonna be a little jealousy. You have to be prepared for that. But back to the cultural differences, right? So culturally, we are different from East Africans because essentially we are West Africans. You know, we had two different slave trades: the transatlantic slave trade and the Arabic slave trade. There were some real differences. The Arabic slave trade was essentially an Islamic slave trade, so they were implemented with Islamic values, right? That was imprinted on the people here in East Africa and parts of Central Africa. So that's why they were able to maintain conservation, in my opinion, because they didn't have they weren't conquered by the Europeans like how we were, you know, like just straight decimated, and they put all their standards on us. We want to look like them in Brazil. People going crazy doing like bleaching their hair and stuff like that to look just like them. I got some notes here. I'm going down my note list. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as repatriation. Just when you come here, just understand it's not what they show you on TV. The people are cool. You can find a wife, but you have to adhere to their standards in this country or whatever country you go to. You know, adhere to their standards. It is not America. It is not America. Things work differently. You know, they've been doing things for hundreds of years a certain way. You can't come here expecting it to change to how you want it, to fit your narrative, you know. Um, you also can't expect people in another nation to have the same demeanor as people in America, you know, or things to work in an organizational capacity in another country as they do in America. You know, Africa, everything is slow, super slow, and that's another. I even seen O'Shea, Kangana. They were talking about this, which is a big one. You know, Black Americans coming to Africa, not understanding that things don't move on time; they go on African time. They take their time with everything. So, for example, today the Bible study thing we did, started at 8, got there at 11. You know, just they just take their time. There's no rush. People in Africa are not rushing. Even going to the airport, the plane may be there like 2 hours later. I mean, it's from the report time. They just don't care. It's a free society. I like it though. They have. They may not have the organizational structure, but they have the social structure. They have it locked down socially here. People know how to conduct themselves in public. Like, for example, I went to the Msimbazi thing and I had on cargo shorts, right? Everybody else had on suits and stuff, and they're looking at me like, what's wrong with this kid? Like, why is he? They obviously knew I was a foreigner. Everywhere I walked, there were eyes on me, like eyes on me. Any chance people get to speak to you too, they're gonna speak to you. They're gonna speak to you because it's not normal. It's not normal for a foreigner to be in these local events. I was the only one there. The video is gonna drop about that, but it was definitely interesting though. But they were cool. They were cool. Everybody was nice. There was food. It was a cool experience. If you get a chance to experience it, definitely do it. Usually, what they do is a send off. They do the send off, which is like not the marriage stuff, but it's kind of like a pre-marriage. So they do a send off, and they do a celebration with you, the girl, her family, and then with a send off, pretty much the family gives up the responsibility to host the wedding, and the man hosts the wedding. His family or him himself take care of the wedding, but the girl gets the gifts and stuff like that. That's like, for example, if you come to Tanzania, right, and you want to get married in America, the only thing you don't even have to be a part of it. I don't think so. But the send off, your girl would have to do to go to America and then get married from that point on. The family's like, cutting ties. Like, okay, we're giving her away to you. We're sending her off. That's something else we don't have. Culturally, the marriage thing is such a huge deal here in Africa. Honestly, I was not prepared for it. I didn't come to Africa with the intentions of getting married. I didn't know what I was looking for as a nomad. I just came here. I was just looking for. I knew I was looking for a place I belonged, right? Obviously, I didn't feel that way in North America or South America. I didn't feel like I belonged, right? So I came to Africa. South Africa was the same thing. I just didn't like seeing people that look like me living in, the same bullshit as the Americas. And then when I got to East Africa, you do feel like you belong, but on the surface, when you start like learning and doing other things, you realize you don't belong. You don't understand the jokes. You don't understand the tribes. You don't understand the tradition. People were telling me even like a situation, Chinese dude was married to a Tanzanian girl. The mother was sick. Chinese dude walks into the mother's room, sits down next to her, and holds her hand and saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." That is like the ultimate form of disrespect. You don't walk into someone's room in Africa, especially, like a woman, especially at that, you walking into the room, that's inappropriate. But he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know that was inappropriate. I guess to Chinese, it may be normal when someone's sick. He was just trying to show love. He was just trying to show love and concern. And it backfired because cultural differences. But yeah, just know as a foreigner, you're a Mzungu. That's it. You're a Mzungu, but that's not saying that they hate you. It's just you're identified as a Mzungu, as someone who doesn't understand their culture or anything like that. Um, I would definitely recommend coming to Africa, though, 100%. Just come with an open mind. Do more research, come with an open mind, see what things are about. Don't go where people are saying it's popping. Like, unless if you're a partier. If you're a partier, then go to the party places. But if you are looking to relocate as a nomad, make sure you look at other factors. Look at cost of living. Um, I would also look at how conservative the country is, depending on what you're into. If you're coming with a family, you want to look at the visa process. If you're a single person, you don't really need to worry about the visa stuff too much in Africa because they aren't like Asia where they're going to ban you, excuse me, if you overstay and stuff. Like Africa is very lenient. I would say that. They're very lenient. Asia is very strict. Africa is very lenient. They give you chances. They're not just trying to like ban you from the country like Thailand would. If you did some dumb shit in Thailand and overstayed a year, then don't expect to go back for 5 years, you know. And Kenya or here, you overstayed a year, you just pay them a couple $100 and it's all good. You know, it's forgiven. Your discrepancy is forgiven. You know what I mean? Like they're not, they don't hold it against you. And I really like that about Africa. They're very forgiving. They let things go. They don't really hold on to stuff. So coming to Africa, just watch what you say, to who you say it. Don't think everybody's poor. Um, don't think you are going to get aggressive with people and it will not be like a repercussion because that can happen. You know, you could end up in jail really fast by acting crazy. They don't tolerate social disturbances. You know, like if you're a menace to society, you're handled in many countries. It's not like Colombia where people could just go crazy. I'm gonna do a video about Colombia too, not a live stream, but an actual video talking about Colombia and why it's not a place for nomads. But if you're on vacation, I think it's cool if you go there for a little bit. But yeah, just make sure you look up the immigration laws if you want to move as a family. I see a lot of couples with children, American couples with children relocating, both white and black, to Africa, which is pretty interesting. In Kenya, Nairobi, you're going to see a lot of white people. Nairobi, Kenya, I've seen the most white people in any country, even more than Johannesburg, South Africa. I've seen the most white people in Nairobi, Kenya. They love it there. You know, it's cool. Nairobi, Kenya is a very fun place. And I apologize again to my Kenyans when I said white people own all the buildings. I wasn't sure. That's usually how it goes around the world. You know, the Anglo-Saxons come and they buy everything. So I apologize for that. I was incorrect on that. I did not know that Kenyans own most of the buildings in Nairobi. The buildings have like a European kind of style, the Western European kind of style. So it wasn't a baseless assumption. It was just off my experiences around the world, what I've seen. Any questions? Anybody have any questions about Africa? Robberies. The girl was talking about robberies and stuff like that. That does happen. You can get robbed, but I've only heard about really women getting robbed. Honestly, like most of the people I've heard about getting robbed in Africa on some like run your shit, like give me your shit, is mostly women. Usually the robberies that happen in Africa, well, in East Africa, anyways, from what I've seen, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, most of the robberies are snatch and grab, and they're taking off. It's boda robberies, the motorcycles. You got somebody in the back of the motorcycle, they snatch it, and they're gone. That's it. That's most of the robberies you would encounter here. People are not going to come up on you with a knife. No one here has guns. I don't think even people in Uganda and Kenya have guns. So people don't have guns, so you don't have to worry about armed robbery. Where? Uh, Gee, and Kenya gonna be the first country. Okay, shit. Oh God, yeah. I mean, Kenya's cool, man. Kenya's cool. Are you excited, man? Kenya's cool. It's a lot of. I mean, I don't know what you're going there for. Me personally, when I go to Kenya, I just stay in my apartment and I order food. But I'm gonna get to the next question. But yeah, when I'm there, I just order food. I just chill. Enjoy my time. I go to the gym. There, that's it. Where are you gonna go to in Kenya? Are you going to Nairobi or Mombasa? Okay. How is Mombasa? Mombasa is a more developed version of Dar es Salaam with less people. Dar es Salaam is a way bigger city. This Mombasa is more developed. Um, Mombasa is a lot more developed. Their internet is really fast. To me, Mombasa, the internet was faster than Nairobi. Um, okay, wait, let me see. My next trip is Kenya or Thailand. Okay, so what are you looking for though? I can help you with that. What are you looking for? Are you looking for like a good time or a long time? You know what I'm saying? Also, are you looking for more organic experience or are you looking for non-organic non-organic experiences with the girls that just want the paper? And there's nothing wrong with looking for either. I'm just asking, you know, because Thailand, depending where you go, I see a lot of people want to go to Thailand, and then I see people get upset when they go out there. Understand what you're getting into, where you're going. You know, Thailand is cool if you're going for specific reasons. If you're going to go to Thailand and you want to look for a wife, I wouldn't do it in Pattaya. Good time and organic. Okay, wait. I'm gonna get to my man's. Gene. I'm gonna get to you afterwards. Okay. Good time and organic for sure. When I went to Thailand, last time I went to Thailand was 2014. I was the only black dude there. I was 23 years old, right? I was the only black dude there. Whew. Um, it was more organic then. Now it's too commercial. This is just my what I've noticed traveling around. Places that become too commercial suck. When it's like, come to Jamaica and feel all right, Jamaica's ass. You know, when they're when they're publicizing it, telling you to go there, everyone's talking about it, it's ass. After a while it's gonna get burned out. People aren't gonna go to countries to where it's more difficult to move around. Like Nairobi, they got the clubs and stuff, but there's no walking street. You know what I'm saying? There's no walking street where there's just a bunch of hoes just lamping, waiting for a dude to come by, grabbing. They're not grabbing your meat in Nairobi like they would in Thailand and Philippines, and on the walking streets. And whether you're Pattaya or Angela City, you're walking and they're just grabbing at you and stuff like that. Or Sosua, those places are all similar, pretty much just escort places. Now, if you want a good time and organic time, I would say Mombasa. I would say Mombasa will be cool. It's going to be a more laid back scene. But then you have to also ask yourself, do you want to deal with, another question is, do you want to deal with Americans or are you a solo traveler just dealing with women and that's it? Me, if I deal with an American, it's because we crossed paths and we spoke organically and it was cool. We vibed. Excuse me, drinking soda, trying to stay up. We vibed and we connected in some way, like Travelversity. Travelversity and we connected. That's my boy. I love that dude. So it's cool. I talk to him, stuff like that. But I've met many other people I haven't connected with. So I mainly do solo. Well, I only do solo traveling. I have had people meet me in places, but I've never been on the plane with somebody flying to another country. So make sure you decide what you want to do. If you want to deal with Americans or not, that's a big thing. If you want to deal with Americans, go to Pattaya. If you want the brotherly aspect, go to Pattaya. Go chill, have fun, have a good time. But if you're trying to, like me personally, I like to avoid drama. I like to avoid like the rumor mill. I like to avoid social dynamics as far as like hierarchy and things of that nature. So I avoid groups. You know, I have my own group. You know, my house. Who comes to my house? You know, shit like that. I'm not trying to deal with like 8 people. You know what I mean? People are like, "Oh man, you don't think LeBron is the GOAT, man? You were lame." Yeah, I'm not dealing with that. No, I'm good. But Gene said he's going to Nairobi. Nairobi. What are you going to Nairobi for, bro? You going there to? Are you sightseeing? Are you dating? Are you just want to understand Nairobi, cultural experiences, the food? What are you going to Nairobi for? Are you just interested in Nairobi? To me personally, and I'm just being real, Nairobi is cool, but it's kind of too liberal for me. Like compared to like Mombasa. Mombasa is still conservative and reserved, you know. Okay, time. Good time and food. Okay. Um, the food in Nairobi, to me, now the quality of apartments was fire, the internet was fire, the food was horrendous. The food was horrendous. The food had me on the toilet, like ordering the food and stuff like that. The food was not it. It just the flavor. It was like ordering food in Medellin. Medellin food is disgusting. It was similar like that order for when I went to Cold Stone Ice Cream. I was so excited. I got my custom ice cream with the fudge and the caramel and the rainbow sprinkles and the chocolate chips. I was so ready. I paid like $15 for this ice cream. Took a bite, spoiled ice cream from Cold Stone. Yes, I said spoiled ice cream. Why? Because it's not properly contained. It's in like an open thing. It was so nasty. It's like the thing melted and dried so many times. I still get nightmares about that ice cream in Nairobi. But you're gonna have a good time there. Clubbing for sure. You'll have a great time. You'll have a great time in Nairobi, clubbing, partying. Oh, let me see. Hold on. I don't know if anybody pulled up. Okay, nobody pulled up. All right, cool, cool, cool. But yeah, you'll have a great time clubbing and partying in Nairobi. Um, the people there are very cool. The only thing about Nairobi is it's a little expensive, you know? Did somebody say something? Yeah, it's just a little expensive. Lots of variety, but lots of variety of food in Nairobi, but Mombasa is beautiful. Yes, there's a lot of variety of food. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the restaurant, like steaks and stuff, was cool. But I like the food in Mombasa better. Honestly, I did like the food in Mombasa better. It felt like Nairobi, they were mimicking the West too much when it came to the food. It's like they strayed away from Swahili food, and it was like Wingstop recreation, you know, and it wasn't good. It's like they tried to do a Wingstop, but they don't got the HMO, GMO shit we got in the States to make Wingstop really fire. You know, they're not injecting all the hormones. This is like, you know, healthier Wingstop, I guess. But you could taste the difference. Do I think Nairobi is good for regular girls? Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would not go there looking for regular girls. Hell no. That is an L waiting to happen. That is an L waiting to happen. I mean, you could try it. Maybe, hey, maybe you could surprise me. But from what I've seen, I mean, it's a lot of clubbies. It's very matriarchal in Nairobi. It's very like liberal. You know, you get a lot of girls, and this is just being real, right? You get a lot of girls that are gonna do threesomes and things that they normally wouldn't do in conservative society. You know, sorry, I got people honking. It's party time. It's 11:33 at night. But yeah, in Nairobi they're gonna do threesomes and things like that. that you won't really find here in Tanzania. You can find girls to do stuff like that, but you really have to look. In Nairobi, you can it's instantly. You're just gonna have to pay for it. That's all. You're just gonna have to pay for it, but it's readily available. You know, people actually, girls leave here and go there to be prostitutes because that's where the money's at. You know what I'm saying? Are all the girls in the club normal girls? In Nairobi, I'm gonna go ahead and say soft pros because if you Nairobi is a money city, so most people there is about money. And when you see those girls in like the tight, short skirts and stuff like that, you know, that shit ain't for show like America. You know, they're not going out just for show. They're going out to get a check. So, but what you see as like a baddie with the makeup and the frontals and shit like that, they might hit you for $150. You know what I'm saying? They might hit you for $200. I'm not paying none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, I'm not doing none of that. I'd rather just get a regular girl. That's cool. Because there are cool girls in Nairobi. You know what I mean? That would just hang out with you and stuff. But the thing is, Nairobi's kind of turning into a Sosua because you're getting so many Americans going on Tinder, talking to all the girls. That's why if you were to switch your Tinder right now to Nairobi, within 12 hours you'll have 100 plus matches, 100 plus likes, and those girls aren't even looking to see what you look like or anything. They just like because they're about a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, I seen it. Like I tried to deal with a couple girls in Nairobi, but after dealing with the girls here and then going there, I was cool. I was cool. You know, they listen to Cardi B. They got that Cardi B mentality. Man, you need to start making more videos, man. I like your videos. And congrats on your baby, brother. I was following you for a while, man. You were one of the reasons I actually started doing YouTube. You and Danny Dixon. But yeah, congrats on your baby, brother. Congrats on the happy, beautiful family. I'm glad that you're doing well. Glad that everybody's doing well. That's what's up, man. Just want to say shout out my man. Sub his channel too if you get the chance. I know I don't have too many subs, but hey, if I could help you in any way, cool. Raise help me. People try to help me. It's all good. It's all love, Black YouTube. You know. Yeah, man. It's all love, man. Black YouTube. We gotta look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put the whole no trolls thing. You know, I'm not trying to. I don't get on here to argue or to like shit on my people or anything like that. I'm just saying what I see. You know what I mean? I've had a traveling. I've not terrible, but I've dealt with some racism traveling. You know, being as dark as I am, and even in Asia, you know, Japan, that automatically thought I was a Nigerian scammer walking around Japan. I lived in Japan 4 years. Going to Tokyo was the worst. They thought I was a Nigerian scammer all the time. You know, try to go walk up on a girl, they're like, "Ah," grabbing their purse or something like I'm gonna rob them. I want to punch them. It was cool. It was cool though. But yeah, Nairobi's a cool place for vacationing. I would say this though, right? To the people that are watching and the people that are going to see this, right? When you're going to these places and you're seeing these YouTubers, look at what they're doing, right? What are they doing? Are they in the club every weekend? Are they showing escorts all the time? What are they doing that's making this place attractive to you? You know, why do you like it? It does it coincide with your life? You know, me, I'm home. You know, I go to the gym. I'm home. I'm chilling. I play the video game. I'm online. I'm doing research. I'm reading. But I'm not in the club. You know, like even now, I haven't been up since to 11:40, and I don't know how long. Like I'll be asleep. You know, I'll be asleep and up early. I'm up by 5 a.m. You know what I mean? So it just depends. Like you have to see who resonates with you. Like, you know, are you a big weed smoker? Are you a big drinker? You know, like some people, a lot of people come overseas and they don't really absorb any culture. You know, they're getting twisted the whole time. You can't learn if you're inebriated, if you're not in your right mind. You know, what I mean, you're faded. You can't absorb any information. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't smoke, you know, or haven't smoked, but you know, when I'm doing things like this, I have to be alert. I got to be on caffeine, coffee. You know, I have to be able to speak, articulate myself well. You can't do that if you're, you know, what I mean, if you're just done. You know, what I mean, if I'm slurred, you know, I can't do that. And that's another thing too. Being in Africa, I would say helped change my life for the better in the sense of health. I learned the importance of health being here. It's actually very important, very, very important. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing my man's Gene go to Nairobi. I want to see if he gets any regular girls out there. Gene, you gotta tap in when you're out there, man. I want to see what's up with Nairobi for your perspective. Rwanda's another place that dudes were talking about for meeting women and just touching on meeting women. I'm a man, obviously. Most of my subscribers are gonna be men, so we talk about women. Rwanda was supposed to be another place, but the thing about Rwanda, what I peeped, and this is just me being a veteran traveler, living in many places, Rwanda is very westernized. It's very matriarchal. Like watching them how they speak and stuff like that. So you might go to Rwanda and deal with American style. Which if you like that, that's cool. I'm not. People like what they like, you know. If you like more modern style women, then Rwanda might be it. But I know a couple people that went out there. I've seen some of the work and stuff like that. You know, you got to remember a lot of these guys too are coming out here for a good time, not a long time. So if you have a long time and you're going to Nairobi and you're going to these places, me, I like a girl to cook for me. I'm not cooking my own meals if I have a woman that I'm paying for the food and stuff like that. In Nairobi, you go to Nairobi, you're gonna have to order food. They're not gonna just come cook in high heels and stuff. The girl you met at the club, they don't cook. You know what I mean? It's like Medellin, going to Medellin and trying to get the girl to cook. Even if she cooks, it's gonna be half-assed. It's not gonna be her putting her heart and soul into it. So just be real with yourself, brothers and sisters, whatever you guys are looking for. Cause hey, there's a lot of it's a lot of rainbow people and not rainbow women in Nairobi. So there might be some American chicks that might want to go there and get a woman. You know, that's also very possible. It's also very possible. They're very liberal out there with that threesome stuff. I was offered it, but I denied it because I was good. You know, I didn't want to deal with those type of women. It's kind of draining. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, Rio is different. I had like someone come cook for me in Rio. I paid them to do it, like a chef, but it was terrible. Like getting the Rio is another place. Like Rio is another place that they overhype and it's really trash. It's too colorist. The women are absolutely terrible there. They're very masculine. They're very bitchy, super hyper feminist. A lot of them don't cook. But and another thing too, I want to show you guys why Rio sucks. Google the age of consent for Brazil. The age of consent to sex for Brazil. Google the age of consent to sex for Colombia, and it shows something. You know, it shows something. Because in Rio de Janeiro, I was walking around, and I was like, man, it's some little girls with kids. Like, I thought it'd be you know what I mean? But you could tell it's like a mom type situation. Like, they may have just given birth and they're super young. Rio de Janeiro, um, that place thrives on sexual depravity, over sexualization of everyone and everything. You know, they got kids on the beach in speedos and thong underwear, like bikinis and stuff like that. That place was sick to me, man. Like, the place was sick. I would never go back there. Most of the foreigners I met that got in trouble in Africa was because of women. So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's why it's better just to get one. And I'm not saying like, and I'm not trying to knock people who want to deal with other girls. You could get one girl here in Africa. This is what the locals do. I learned what the locals do. You get one girl, and you could just every once in a while, let's say your girl's on a period, something like that, you just go get a little hotel and deal with another girl for a couple hours. You do what you do, whatever you agreed upon. Come back home to your wife, chill, whoop de whoop. That's what they do. You know what I mean? Saw a 14-year-old in the favela with a baby. Man, when I seen the age of consent to sex was 14, it makes sense. That's why there's so many single mothers in Rio de Janeiro, in Brazil, period, because they're having sex with other 14-year-old boys, or even men my age are having sex with 14-year-old girls in Rio and sliding on them. You know what I'm saying? But in Rio, prostitution or Brazil, prostitution is legal. They have those brothels. So you go to, I've been to one. You know what I mean? 4x4. You go to those places. Most of the girls that work there are single mothers, but they're cooked in the head. They like that lifestyle because that's what the country pushed on them. They push sexual depravity. You know what I mean? Real, even like regular girls that I met that came through, they would just come through and they just want to get smashed, order food. Once you're finished, once you have nothing else left in the tank, they'll just leave. Like they're not trying to really talk to you. They're just straight action. You know what I mean? And this is non-paid, just regular girls in Rio. The section's that casual. They'll just come over, get it in, and dip. Um, I wouldn't promote that place for living or growing a family because let's say you have a son and your son has to walk around seeing dudes with wigs and square jaws in Rio. It's going to be very traumatic for your son. I wouldn't want to, and that's the problem with these Western countries. They don't understand the trauma they're having on the next generation because I want to have more kids. I want to have a big family. I don't want my kids to be jacked up thinking violence is the way and stuff like that. Now I'm not saying these other countries are perfect. They're lacking technological advances, structural organization, things of that nature. They're lacking in other parts, but perfect societies don't exist. I mean, I guess in a sense of maybe peace, you could have a really peaceful society. That's what this place is. Kenya is really peaceful. Uganda is really peaceful. Like Rio, really dangerous. I heard about a YouTuber getting drugged and they tried to drug my boy Joe. He had it on camera. The girl tried to drug him while we were in Rio. Me, him, Travel Versity, a couple other people. Girl he met at like Dolce Vita, and I guess he turned his back. And these girls they're not professionals in Rio like they are in Colombia. So turns his back, she makes it all super suspicious and shit and tries to like throw something real quick. The girls in Colombia, they practice that shit in the mirror. Like they got the shit on their boobs and shit. They grab your head, and you're gone, You done put your head on the breast and you inhale through your nose and you're passing out. Next thing you know, you're waking up on the sidewalk and your shoes are gone and your wallet and your phone and everything. And the thing about Colombia that's more dangerous than Rio is you have organized crime groups targeting foreigners. That sucks. Like you got the cab driver, you got the bartender, you got people in the bar, assistant, and it's like, damn, like what if I only have like $300? Like, let's say my phone is a $100 phone and I got $150 in my pocket. Y'all gonna go through all of this for $250, and to resell the phone, you're gonna get $100 for a $150 phone. You're not gonna get exactly $150 for it. So for $200, they got people doing all this stuff because they're not casing you out to see exactly. Well, I don't know. Some of these new traveler dudes are dumb, so they may tell the girl like, "Yeah, Chica, I got a MacBook at home. I got $7,000 in the safe. we don't know what these guys are saying to get robbed, because I know when I was in Colombia, listen, you couldn't tell me apart from a local. I was looking homeless walking around Medellin. I didn't care. At nighttime I wasn't playing. During the day, yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. Get dressed during the day. But at nighttime in Medellin, I was walking around like hole in my t-shirt, fucked up basketball shorts. Same in South Africa. There's in places that are hot, you gotta know how to move. Unless if you ready to die. You know what I'm saying? You're ready to die about some dumb shit, you know. I don't imagine getting killed by a needle fiend, you know what I mean, for your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I didn't work this hard to make it this far just to get killed by a needle fiend. Like, wait, most African Americans are just sex tourists. Could we say most white Americans are sex tourists? Or is it just African Americans? Because honestly, I learned about all this travel scene stuff from white sex tourists when I was 21 years old. Oh, when I was in Japan and I was like just on the internet and stuff, and I seen a lot of white guys promoting sex tourism in places like, what are places they were promoting? Like Indonesia, stuff like that, or Cambodia, things like that. They were promoting those places crazy. So you can't just say it's Black American or African Americans sex tourism. You know what I mean? Sex tourism is just broad. You know, guys are down bad in the States. So I can't totally blame dudes for wanting to take part in sex tourism as long as they do it safely. In which it doesn't matter if they do it or not, because I'm not, nobody's police. You know what I mean? I don't police anybody. I'm just saying they might want to consider doing it safely. Not saying they should. They might want to consider doing it safely. There's nothing wrong with being a sex tourist, whatever, because white women do sex tourism. They go to Greece, and you can look this up. White women go to Greece and stuff like that. You know what I mean? White women, yes, white women come here for sex tourism. Actually, they go to Zanzibar. White girls go to Zanzibar. The old white ladies, they're in Zanzibar. You'll see them with the African dudes walking around holding hands, and you know it. This African dude don't want to be with her because she look like Miss Piggy. She ain't cute at all. Hold on, let me hit some of these. I seen two guys get in a fist fight about old 50 Cent. I mean, it'd be like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they really about that. When I was in Uganda, and I was actually like, I was walking around, so I was patrolling downtown Uganda. Uh, it was actually really disgusting, like downtown Kampala. Um, it was these prostitute girls. They were arguing. I don't know what they were arguing about. I just heard them arguing, and I was just walking. And the other girl picked up like a 2x4 and smacked the other girl in the head and straight knocked her out. And then was like punching her in the face. It was the most savage shit I've ever seen in Africa. And it was like, whoa. But I was in a seedy area. I was downtown Kampala walking around. I could have been robbed, but they weren't on that type of time really out there. Not like if there was South Africa, definitely. White guys been sex touring since. Oh yeah, of course. They started all of this. Yo, I started traveling in my early 20s to these locations and stuff like that, and it was only white guys. I met FBI agents in Medellin, ATF dudes, U.S. Marshals doing cocaine. I mean, like they were wilding out. It was all white guy. It was a white guy scene when I first got down there to like Medellin, even DR. DR used to be 2015. It'll be a few brothers there, but you'll see dudes from Norway, Netherlands, all over. It's pretty multicultural. Observing most of this YouTube channel, all they talk about is how women are. I'm glad you're showing the good side. Wait. Observing this YouTube channels. Yeah, man. I'm just talking about everything, as a nomad, not just women and sex, but living here as a black man, how you're received. You know, how am I received? Shit, I might be blacker than most of my subscribers, you know? So I'll tell you how I'm received, how people treat me. I mean, I try to be observative, but you know, some days everybody has off days, right? So some days I'm just not paying attention as much as I should be. But my girls were usually with me walking around and stuff, so she tells me what I may miss. Like with the Msambazi stuff, she was translating for me. That was really cool. But yeah, man, I try. My channel is going to be informational with a little bit of entertainment, mostly informational. Even if other guys have information they want to share, because I'm still learning as well. You know what I'm saying? I've only been in Africa about 2 years, so that's still no time, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you got people like my girl is 24 years old. She's been in Africa almost 25 years. She doesn't know everything, you know what I'm saying, about even her own country. There's words in Swahili she doesn't know. Just like there's words in English I don't know, you know? Like it's just how it goes. But any other questions you guys got about Tanzania or talk about any other countries in Africa? I seen it was some good live streams this weekend so far. There's a lot of good live streams, a lot of dudes talking about Africa. Do you guys think Africa is up next? It seems like it to me. It seems like a lot of people have interest in Africa, but I feel like a lot of people are going to come to Africa and it's not going to be what they imagined. It's not going to be what they imagined because you're going to think they think like, oh, the most developed African countries are probably going to be the best. But from what I've seen, that's not necessarily true. Development does not necessarily mean peace and harmony. You know what I mean? Development means nothing. It just means the country is developed. It has nothing to do, infrastructure has nothing to do with social dynamics. There's two totally different things. Social structure and infrastructure is totally different. And people have to be able to separate the two. You know what I mean? You need to look at how a country is socially. But another thing is, it's hard for us to do that because we don't speak the local languages. You know, when we Google things, we're Googling things in English. So we don't really get the real of the country. So somebody wrote that article in English. You know what I'm saying? Some languages, they don't really have the translator capabilities. Some African languages, they don't have the translator capabilities to translate that language. You know what I'm saying? Especially when these guys are talking about very small African countries that only a handful of people have been to. You like, I mean, obviously a lot of people have been to, but like young people on YouTube, not many people have been to. Ace probably has been to, out of black YouTubers, he's probably been to like the most countries, right? Like, from what I've seen, Ace been to a lot of places. But no more questions. No more questions. What about West Africa? Anybody's been to West Africa? I have no interest in West Africa because West Africa has a bad reputation all over Africa. West Africans have a bad reputation. So usually when people have a bad reputation, it's for a reason, especially continentally bad reputation. It has to be for a reason, you know. I see a lot of people like Ghana, so Ghana must have like, I don't know, like some hybridization of America and Africa, maybe. I don't know what the attraction is to Ghana, but a lot of people are going to Ghana. But even then, that's still dying down. The Ghana talk is dying down, and Kenya talk is picking up more. I hope you guys are enjoying the beautiful sky, Tanzanian sky. It's beautiful out here. People playing music. I stopped playing music just to talk to you guys. Yes, I've been seeing that too. There's a lot of opportunities for Black Americans in Ghana, but do you mind dealing with Black Americans in masses? Were you trying to escape? What were you trying to escape in America? What were you trying to escape in America? Me, I was trying to escape just the degradation of family structure. Now, Ghana, I don't know too much about Ghana, so I would have to do more research. I only know some about Nigeria. Ghana has nice Airbnbs from what I see. Oh yeah, they got nice Airbnbs. Have you looked at Nigeria Airbnbs? I was gonna go to Nigeria before here, after South Africa, because I was unsure about this place because the Airbnbs don't look good. Oh, the other thing, don't let Airbnbs fool you. Airbnbs don't really represent the country. Like here, it's just because of the laws. You know, here there's like laws that make it difficult for people to own Airbnbs because to own an Airbnb here by law, the government has to be a part of your Airbnb business, and a lot of people aren't really with that. You know, they want to. A lot of business owners here just do their business alone, and that's it. The government doesn't have their hand in the business. But Airbnb will fool you. You know, Nigeria Airbnb is like 2,700 for a nice place. My boy was asking his homie that went to Nigeria, how much do you think he has to spend for a month there, or should he have as a budget? He was saying 10 to 15,000 for a month in Nigeria to live comfortably. 10 to 15,000. That is wild. That is wild. That is a lot of money to spend in the country for 1 month. I have never spent that much money in any. The most money I think I spent in a country was probably Brazil, around like high season. In a month, I may have spent like $6,000, $6,000 in Brazil. If you want to rent an apartment in Ghana, I heard you have to pay for one. See, and that's the thing. Even Tanzania, you lived in Tanzania before. Tanzania, a lot of places want you to pay 6 months, minimum 3 months, minimum 3 months. A lot of these places don't do like you pay 1 month and then you pay the next month and then you pay the next month. No, they need these months in advance, and they're very serious about that. I'm gonna try to see how long I keep this live going before I need to go to sleep. But yeah, they're very serious about that. They are very serious about that. Let me see. No, but I'm actually gonna look into Ghana. I want to see what they're charging for their Airbnbs. I had looked at Ghana before, um, but it was something about with Ghana you have to send your passport in or something like that to get stamped and stuff like. And it was just a pain in the ass, and I didn't really want to. I didn't really want to deal with it, but I'm looking on Airbnb right now. Ghana's looking cool. See, you know what's crazy? As far as Kenya goes, in Nairobi, the Airbnb I stayed in was very expensive, but it was very nice. They had an espresso machine, all types of shit, right? And I would say this about Kenya's Airbnbs: they are very technological. They have espresso machines, nice TVs, PlayStation, Xboxes, all that, right? But if you break anything, they are charging you times three for that item. Whatever parts or repairs, they're charging you times three. Maybe because they're imports, it's harder to get or something like that, but they are charging you crazy. I broke a microwave plate in Tanzania. They charged me $40 for a microwave plate in Tanzania that I broke. It fell, boom. You could get a microwave here for $30. You know, they charged me the price of a microwave just for the plate. But I could understand because the Airbnb hosts are probably getting taxed by Airbnb, so they're trying to get their money back some way. I'm actually looking on Airbnb right now for Ghana. I'm gonna start sharing my screen eventually on these streams, but right now the Ghana Airbnbs they're not looking too bad. You guys might want to try it, but look up what's required if you want to go to Ghana. How long in advance do you need to get your visa? I mean, how and then are you guys gonna be going for like a month, or are you maybe like couple week travelers? 1 week. How long would you be going to Ghana if you went to Ghana? You still in Kenya, right? Boo Boo, you still in Kenya? I believe you still in Kenya. Last video I see you drop, you were in Kenya. So I don't know if you went back to the States or not. But yeah, guys, it's not really repatriation that's coming back here. We're just migrating to Africa. That's all Black Americans are doing. We're migrating to Africa. This is not really our home anymore. Just being real, you know, we have Eurocentric standards. We don't speak any African language. It's just common sense here. We speak the white man's language fluently, you know, so you can't really call it repatriation. We are not a part of the culture in Africa at all. We share the same genetics, but still in Kenya, but in the States for a visit. Oh, you're in the States for a visit. Okay, when you come back, I expect to, you know, we're gonna live stream or something, you know, we'll live stream and talk when you come back, bro. You know, your channel's gonna pop. You just gotta keep dropping videos, man. Like when you type in Black American in Tanzania, your page comes up. So if you drop more videos, people are gonna be watching more. You know what I'm saying? Because I do that just to see where my stuff is at in the algorithm. I'll put Black American in Tanzania, Passport Bro Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? You come up before me, so. And I'm like, damn, you know, but you had those videos sitting there for a minute, you know what I'm saying? So you got to keep dropping videos, bro. Keeping that algorithm, get that check. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, my shit's dying. But yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love, man. For sure. I'm gonna try to keep the channel positive. I'm not really. This is not going to be like one of those drama channels. I'm not going to be going at other YouTubers, none of that other stuff. Just talking about Africa, things I experience. Now, if something negative happens to me in Africa, I'll talk about that. But I pray, you know, I don't deal with anything negative. You know what I mean? I can pray, but everybody has to deal with something negative. But I'll keep it real, let people know how I handle the situation, how you can handle negative situations in Africa. And another thing, let me see. Oh, thank you. Montana, Canada. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to motivate my brothers, man. You know, I want us all to do good. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to do good. I want to see your child grow up, be happy, healthy. You and your wife be happy and healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like we all out here in Africa. We're outsiders, but I guess to each other we're not really outsiders. We're Black Americans that left America, living in another place where we are outsiders. People have to understand that we are outsiders. We don't speak their language. We don't know shit about their culture really. We're outsiders, you know. We don't understand their jokes. Their humor is different from our humor. You know what I mean? Especially depending where you come from in the States, totally different humor. They don't listen to rap music. You know? They don't listen to rap music at all. You know, they don't have the hate for white people. I don't hate white people, but I'm saying like general, you know what I mean? They don't have any problems with white people really. I was surprised how much they love white people in Africa. Especially since they basically made it seem like white people invaded Africa and snatched up all the Africans and took them out. Hey, salute, man. Salute. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So I was actually surprised to see how different it was from what they said. You know, like they really love white people here. There is segregation kind of in Africa, but not amongst Black people. Besides in South Africa, another thing I want to put on before I leave, the segregation is between like the Middle Easterns and the Africans. The Middle Easterns stay to their side, the Africans stay to their side, pretty much, but not like side of the country. Basically, like they live with their people, Africans live with their people, and that's it. You don't really see intermingling with Arabs and Tanzanians like that, or Africans like that, from what I've seen so far. Um, let me go back to some of this stuff. Educated. Oh, thank you, man. I'm trying to educate. I'm educating myself. I have to research and also experience this stuff. Wait, what does this say? Many East African countries I come across don't too much. No, they don't. They don't even know about their own slavery. Wifey didn't even understand about the Arabic slave trade here. Like they didn't. She didn't even know. Yeah, I mean about the slave trade here. But the Arabic slave trade was different, even though it was broader and it lasted a while. The thing about the Arabic slave trade that was different was what they said on Google information is they still seen us as humans, and we were afforded some rights. We weren't objects or tools like how we were with the Anglo-Saxons. We were just animals to them. So it was very interesting. I learned a lot about the Arabic slave trade when I went to Zanzibar. Um, they didn't even get to utilize a lot of their like slave dungeons and stuff like that. All that stuff just basically eroded away and became monuments. They were never used. There were never any people chained up. It was just like basically a scare tactic. Um, but in the Americas is way different. Like I learned too, South America and the Caribbean, slavery was way worse than in North America. Like South America and the Caribbean, it was just hell for slaves. Pretty just torture. And that makes sense to why the Brazilians and like the Colombians, Dominicans, why they're so like Eurocentric. You know what I mean? When you catch the whip so much, that shit gonna change your mind, man. Like getting hurt and being put down, keep pushed down at the bottom. The darker you are, I can see how it's that's a form of mind control. You know what I mean? Torture people until they reject their race. You know what I'm saying? That's essentially what they did in South America and the Caribbean. I mean, they tortured black people until they reject their blackness. They rejected their blackness. And in Rio, I used to get it all the time. Why are you going to dirty ass Africa? I don't know. Like it's just that's Anglo-Saxon rhetoric right there. Even Eastern Europeans don't say that type of stuff about Africa. You see them out here. Oh, another thing too, um, for the people that come out here, the Europeans don't really want to talk to you like that. Like honestly, if you try to wave to them, they see you're a Black American. They don't really want to speak to you. Like I noticed, and I've asked other Black American brothers about this with the Europeans, like older brothers, reputable brothers, more respectable brothers, about how they feel about it, and they were saying like I'm trying to word this correctly, like we are defiant, as Black Americans, we are defiant. Like these people are more compliant when it comes to white people and stuff like that. So that's why they don't want to talk to us, because we are not going to be like, yes, I'm asking. We're going to be like, what? I had a white lady in Uganda tell me to go back to America. A white lady. I was like, how dare you, colonizer? Like, what? But then I realized that Ugandans really rock with them like that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, she was comfortable to tell me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a white person, I've never experienced that out here. But what's this guy saying? A lot of Black Brazilian women don't favor dark skinned men mostly. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's just facts. But here's the kicker about Brazil. Even though they like lighter skinned people, let's say white boys are winning, right? White boys ain't really winning because those girls are still whack. They're still materialistic. That the white boy has to be a simp. He has to drop a lot of money, Like Let me see. Most Africans put religion first, then their own people, while Muslims put their people first before religion. Yeah, I actually seen this in reviews in two different countries, Uganda and Kenya. One for Cold Stone, and I forgot the other place. But Ugandan was actually complaining about this to me. He was saying that in Uganda, they treat white people better than their own citizens. They treat white people better than their own citizens. And then in Kenya, I was reading when I was looking for my Cold Stone ice cream before I was disappointed. I was reading the comments, and they were like, "You guys love white people. You treat them better than Africans." And I was like, "Damn, okay. I mean, that must be some real shit." I've seen it a couple times. I've seen it a couple times. I guess that is a gripe from people on the continent. Like some people feel that white people are treated better than people in their own nations. Even when I went to jail in Uganda with Travelversity, the dudes in the jail were like, "Man, if you were white, you wouldn't be in jail. It's because you're Black American. That's why you're in jail. If you're white, they would have just let you go." I was like, "Motherfucker, you gonna tell me that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like they wanted to humble us. They wanted to put us in a position where we were beneath them, where we had, when I was in Ethiopia, I asked a white man a question. Oh yeah, man, they ignore me, bro. I'd be like, "Hi, how you doing? Hello." My girl just tells me, "Yo, stop talking to them," because I try to be friendly. I'm outside of America. I'm not in New York no more, so I don't walk around with like the ice grill, stone face. Like I'm living like I'm in the South or something. Like I grew up in the South. I'm like, "Hey, hello, hello." I'm saying hello, hello. Not everybody's friendly. Especially the white people. They know you're Black American by when you speak. Even white Americans in Tanzania, I've heard them speak. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?" They'll look at you like, "Fuck you talking to me for?" You know what I mean? Like, so I just stay quiet. But I would say every brother I came across, every Black American brother that I came across and spoke to was hyper cool, was happy to see me out here, because they don't know you're Black American until you really talk, especially me, you know what I'm saying? He's happy, you know what I mean? They're happy to see you out here. They want to talk to you. They want to get your experience. When they find out you live here, they're super hyped. I would say though, when I would tell like white people I live here, they would look a little sour, like, "Where do you live here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I live here. I ain't here for 3 days." You know what I'm saying? "I live here." And they're like, "Oh, okay," but they're definitely not as friendly to us as they are to the host nationals here, or host nationals in whatever African country you are. Like he just was saying about Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to. It just I don't want to keep beating a dead horse talking about race, But I am Black. I'm Black as shit. So I stand out when it comes to white people and stuff like that, So I'm just giving my real experiences around the world, Like I really thought, honestly, Brazil was going to be that place. But even in Brazil, walking around Copacabana, being as dark as I am, like even in Brazil, as dark as I am, walking around, I was getting looks. Me being Black, eating in a nice upscale, steakhouse, Brazilian steakhouse, and there are no other Black people. I didn't even peep it until my man said something. I was like, "Wait, oh shit, we the only Black dudes in there." Or I'll be with my white homeboy, and I look around. I'm the only Black dude there. It's only white Brazilians in these places. They're only used to serving white Brazilians. Even when they were talking to me, when they seen I was American, they were like, "Oh, okay." Even like walking around in Brazil, approaching people for help, approaching them as I am, straight up, they're thinking I'm Brazilian at first. Then when I'm speaking, they're like, "Oh, you're American. Okay, cool." So they talk to me. You know what I mean? Let me see. Yes, Black American dudes do stick together. I would say that we overseas, we do stick together. But I peeped that like when I was in basic training, right? When I was in basic training in the military, all the black dudes, we just clicked up. You know what I'm saying? We clicked up. You know, you get people have your back, whoop-de-whoop, because it was dominated by the white boys. So black dudes just had their cliques, and we just rocked together. But that's how it is. Even in you look at prison. You know, when we are really in a minority, black Americans, when we're in like a minority situation, we'll have each other's back. When we're a majority, that's when the infighting starts happening. You know what I'm saying? But when we're like, it's just a small amount of us, we're gonna make sure everybody good. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually a really dope thing. And I do appreciate that. I met some really dope brothers out here. Let me see what's the next part. I'm not going to Brazil. Brazil isn't really dangerous like that, you know. Um, like if you're going for like, okay, I'm just gonna be real, total real live, right? So if you're going to Brazil, right, and you just want to bang out escorts, right? Let's say you got your browser's fantasy you want to live out, right? And you got 8 days. Rio's the perfect place to go do that, bro. You go get it in, have a good time, and leave. You don't. It's safer than Colombia. I'll tell you 100% fact. Rio de Janeiro is safer than Colombia. I promise you. It's safer than Colombia. And even if you want to like say, okay, what about Cartagena? Okay, Cartagena is pretty safe, but Cartagena is annoying. You got people fucking with you all day. Hey, my friend. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. Rio, nobody's doing that. Everybody's, you know, just grooving and moving. I'll keep this live going for 2 hours, 30 minutes. Yeah, Rio, everybody's grooving and moving. You don't have to worry about that. That irritation of a vacation place where they're just on you. But for my guys looking to, oh wait, no, bros. Rio is safer than Medellin. Now, if we're talking, okay, I'm not talking about Brazil as a whole. Rio de Janeiro is safer than Medellin, Colombia. Rio de Janeiro, Copacabana is safer than Parque Aires, 100%. Copacabana is highly patrolled by the police. Brazilian police also, here's another difference. Brazilian police also ain't playing with those favela dudes. They will kill them, you know, trying to rob you and stuff, they will kill them. In Colombia, the police are more on the side of the Colombians than you. You know what I'm saying? Look at how many tourists do you hear getting killed in Brazil versus Colombia? This shit is weekly now in Colombia. The scopamine deaths is weekly now. I see it. I'm not even in. I get people hitting me up about Colombia just because I used to live there. I used to be an advocate for Colombia in 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Up until about 2019, I noticed a change in Colombia. 2019, a lot more Americans were going there. This is pre-COVID. 2019, a lot more Americans were going there. Rick Ross was talking about it in songs. It started to become way more commercial. You know, now, yeah, okay, yeah, but like, there are parts of Brazil that are wild, dangerous, but we would never go there. You know, those are the Badlands. We're not going out there. We're not going out there. Those parts of Brazil, those are Portuguese only parts. You have to speak Brazilian Portuguese only to navigate those areas. You know, it's not; those aren't for, you know, people who aren't veterans. Yeah, that's what I was telling him. You know, it's organized crime in Colombia right now. It's organized crime. They are targeting tourists. When I was going to Colombia, nobody was even checking for Americans. Like, Americans in Colombia wasn't a thing really in 2015. People were still scared of the cartel old image that Colombia had. Colombia was trying to rebrand when I was going out there. You know what I mean? They were trying to get rid of that cartel image they had. They got rid of it, but now it's back. They got rid of it for a little bit. Then people started going. people started going to Colombia safely for a while, right? Like maybe like a year and a half. People were going safely, but once those gangsters realized, okay, oh, let me hit this next one. We thought about going to Colombia. How's it communicate? You have to speak Spanish. You can't use English, but you could use your Google Translator. You have to speak Spanish in Colombia. English is not. Um, yeah, it's not a thing. Well, okay, I would say Google he's used to Africa, so in Africa, especially where he's been in Africa, everybody speaks English. So if you've been, he's a he's an African expat, so that's why he was asking about Colombia because you could go to Thailand and people speak English. So he's basically like an Eastern traveler. You know what I'm saying? This side of the world. In the Western world, it's actually crazy, right? Isn't it crazy that more people speak English in these countries than in the Western countries? Isn't that crazy? South America, I guess I never really thought about it until this live just now. South America, right below America, you won't come across people that speak English like that. Even though they were colonized by the same people, they didn't put the need to learn English upon Latin American people like that, right? But then you go to South Africa, everybody speaks English, you know. South Africa, everybody speaks English. Kenya, everybody speaks English. Uganda, everybody speaks English. It's crazy. Rwanda, people speak English. Tanzania, people speak English. Ethiopia, people speak English. I think there's more English-speaking African countries than Latin American countries. Let me go back up here a little bit. Where is a place that I've never been that I want to go? I wanted to go to Rwanda, but with with some of the things that I've seen about Rwanda, I don't want to go because here's another thing with me, right? I don't like very small countries, right? Um, Small countries, small places, small minds, right? Usually they have their super set way of doing things, and that's what I mean by small mind. Not taking anything away from their tradition and stuff like that, but they have their super set way of doing things. They're not going to change it at all. We are outsiders. We don't know nothing about it at all, about how they rock, things of that nature. So I like cities in the top 100. So a country that I might check out next would be Turkey. I might check out Turkey. My only hesitation on Turkey is that it's more of I don't want to say a white place because Africans go there too, but Turkey doesn't seem like a place that is Afrocentric. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of trying to stick to Afrocentric places, but I don't know where else in Africa I could go that they'll speak English and it's peaceful and not really Americanized. I don't want to go where all the Americans are going. I don't want to go to Ghana. I do not want to go to Ghana at all. I don't want to go to Nigeria. I don't want to go to places that emulate America. Nigeria, they got the frontals and the lace front wigs. All those girls rock those in those videos. I'm good. I don't want to. I don't want to be in places like that. Um, Let me keep going. What are they saying? How safety between Mexico versus Brazil? Heard Dominican Republic is dangerous for black people. Okay, Mexico. I had no interest in Mexico because everybody was going there. But I could tell you, Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic is cool if you're going for a good time, not a long time. Um, that's because most people, I'm speaking generally, generalization, not absolute. Most people in Dominican Republic are after money and are opportunists. You don't really come across too many genuine people in Dominican Republic. It's a small island. It's like 12 million people in Dominican Republic total, something like that. It's a very small number. That's like the size of one city. one huge city in the world. But yeah, I don't like Dominican Republic. People there are kind of trained to take advantage of Americans. It's like a hustle. You know what I mean? Like like they're taught from young ages. Americans are gonna take advantage. The girls are terrible there in Dominican Republic. Terrible. They will lie and say that their mother is dead just to get $50 from you. You know what I mean? Like it just people there don't really have morals and ethics. They'll do whatever for money, and a lot of people use that as an example for talking about other countries. With this passport bro space, and they don't realize that these other countries, people have serious morals and ethics. Like, for example, here, right? I'm just going to use that example because we were talking. Like, people think, oh, these girls are so poor. These girls are so poor. They'll do whatever for you guys. They're so poor. No, that is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? These girls, you could say, yeah, they're poor, but they have morals and ethics generation, instilled upon them through generations by their parents. Right? I'm tired as fuck. So they're not gonna just have threesomes or do anal sex or things of that nature. A lot of girls aren't. No matter how much money you're gonna pay them, they would not. They would not do it. And these are girls that would have less money than Dominican girls, but they're just not materialistic and greedy like that. The best place I've been to, as far as what, um, as far as living, as far as like living. Okay, so it's different for me, right? Like I like the beach life, right? The beach city life. Yeah, I like the beach city life, right? So for me, this place is dope. Mosquitoes are out here. So for me, Dar es Salaam is fire. I like the beach city life. It's fire. Like if you want to chill, lay back, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's in a rush out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just out here vibing. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. They hear me speaking English. They're probably like, "What is that?" But nobody really cares. So I would definitely say Dar es Salaam is my favorite place, simply because of the safety, relaxation level. It's just a lot of positive. It's a lot of positive energy here. People are positive. People are non-confrontational here. Non-confrontation is a big thing for me. Here we go. My bad. My cell phone died. But yeah, non-confrontation is a big thing for me. Damn, my fucking phone is dead. But non-confrontation is a big thing for me. I want to be in places where there's no confrontation. People aren't trying to fight, stuff like that. Where people go outside is positive. Like I said, I'm out here. I'm chilling. I'm just in my driveway, just chilling. Let me see. What is he talking about? Mexico. Mexico is fun if you know Spanish. Dominican, well, if you're dark skin. Okay, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Before you go to South America, learn Spanish. Okay, learn Spanish. I agree with that. No, they're going to test you in all these countries. Definitely, definitely. But when you're dark like me, you are a NIGGER. That's 100%. That's how they see you. When you're dealing with lighter skinned people in those countries, they're going to feel an air of superiority to you. If you're dark like me, doesn't matter if it's Mexico, they're going to feel like they're superior to you. In an argument, they would use the derogatory term. I've been called it a few times in Latin America just because I wouldn't let people finesse me. I wouldn't let people finesse me. So they refer to me as the derogatory term for black people. I don't, it ain't a big deal. I don't really care. It's not like, whatever. But yeah, the best place I've been to, I'll give 100%. I'll say Tanzania. Second best place I would have said before COVID would have been, it's a tie between Philippines and Thailand, because Thailand and Philippines, they were both really nice. I stayed in those places for a while, but you do feel like an outsider, because what I wanted to avoid is, right, when I'm walking and everybody's like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, black dude, what the fuck? They're not used to seeing black people, so they're like, "Yo, yo," like I've been to Kyrgyzstan. If you guys know where Kyrgyzstan is, it's like near Russia in the Middle East. It's a weird country. They're like Asian type people that speak like Russian. So I was in Kyrgyzstan, and obviously in that place, as a black person, you're going to stand out extremely. People are going to be looking at you. They're going to ask you, do you play for the NBA? 100%. Like, they're going to ask you stuff like that all the time. You can't. I mean, that's not really offensive. Some people get offended by little things, but to me, stuff like that isn't offensive. I'm more offended by, like, what he's saying. Look at this. Like, Mexico's fun if you know Spanish, but Dominican Republic is not fun if you are a dark skin. Like, I know some of those girls from like Sosua and stuff like that. I knew them. I don't talk to them anymore. I knew them. I used to go there a lot, and I knew them on a personal level. And I would ask them, like, why are they trying so hard to be white? Like, and they didn't really have answers. They try so hard to be white, like they don't realize, like, yo, when you're dark like me and you got on like a blonde wig, shit don't look nowhere near natural. Like, you looking crazy out here. Like, you're not white. Get something that fits your color. Like, don't go Eurocentric standards. Go Afrocentric. You'll look great with some curly hair. Like, I don't know. Dominican Republic, that place is cooked. I mean, the Haitian people want to lie and say that they're Dominican there. I mean, like, like, I met so many girls about, I'm half Dominican. It's like, no, you're not. You are a Negro. You're a full Negro like me. You're here. Your shit snap, crackle, and pop when you comb it, just like mine does. You know what I'm saying? And you could just tell they don't like that. I mean, I learned a lot being Dominican Republic for the years I've traveled there. Latin America, Brazil was the last stop for me for Latin America. That was it. Brazil was my last stop. I won't go back to Latin America again. Um, Anybody coming to East Africa anytime soon? What are you guys' trip? The people that are watching, anybody going anywhere interesting? Ethiopia, Zambia. Zambia, I heard, was a terrible country. Wait, let me see. They're gonna test you. Sosua is Brooklyn, New York, or actually the Bronx. Sosua is the Bronx. Sosua is ghetto. Sosua is a ghetto place. I mean, but okay, Gene, check this out though, right? This is where you kind of gotta look at it objectively, right? So a lot of guys in the States, these mosquitoes, a lot of guys in the States don't really get too much vacation time. People are just stacking their money. We got the term they're using in incels, but I don't really want to call it incel, because I know a lot of guys that are like voluntarily checked out of the dating game in America because it sucks. They have money. They could go out. They could go strip club. They could pay for it, but they're not interested in that. They want an organic, real relationship, and it's just hard to get. So, I get the guys that are going to Sosua. They work. They might work for a trash company or something like that. You know what I mean? They're going to Sosua. They get like a week or 2 weeks vacation. They got $10,000. They got a good, if they work for sanitation, they got a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, they go down there, they have fun, and they spend a few $1,000s. Yeah, that is their way to. Oh, you're a day trader. That's what's up. That is their way to get a break from the matriarchy. So if you need a break, I get it, man. Everybody's human, especially men, because like Andrew Tate said, you don't want a bunch of sexually frustrated men in the country. You know what I'm saying? When you get a bunch of sexually frustrated men in the country, then dudes gonna start taking cheeks. It's just what it's gonna be. It's gonna start being real anarchy. You know what I mean? It's gonna be real anarchy out there. Guys are gonna be going crazy. Once men start to lose it, we really start to lose it. There's been a lot of examples of uprisings just from pissed off men throughout history. So that's just something else. Let me see what my man said right here. I got anxiety. So the longest flight I've been to is Vegas, 5 hours. So where you at? Where you at? New York? Vegas, 5 hours? Were you from New York, New Jersey? Around that area? Yeah, I used to live in Vegas, man. Vegas is not a place I would want to raise my kids at either. Vegas is another place that is based on sexual degradation. Like a lot of people there are into wild shit in Vegas. A lot of people are into wild shit in Vegas. A lot of drugs, a lot of meth heads. When I was in Vegas, I met kids. So I was like around the time I was like 18, 17, 18. I met kids that were my age freebasing heroin through foil. Obviously, his life is probably cooked by now. Hopefully, I hope that he's doing well. But at 18 years old, freebasing heroin through foil, it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. I joined the military up out of Vegas because I'm originally from New York, but I moved there for like the last few months of my senior year. Let me see. You're a day trader. Okay. So you get in the bag, day trader. Yeah, I used to trade, man, and then I got into crypto, got knocked down some money, so I'm humble on the trading right now. Right now, I'm just investing in gold and silver. That's that's the move for me. Let me see. I'm from Miami. I don't like people. No desire to go there. Yeah, I don't really like. So okay, I don't. I used to say I don't like people. I don't like dickheads. I don't like dickheads. I don't like people that go out their way to cause an issue. People that want to demean you to make themselves look better or feel better. Not even look better, just to feel better about themselves. They want to put you down. You know what I mean? Like I don't like those people. Because I used to say I hated people and shit like that. No. Because I was living in the Northeast. Northeast has the most dickheadish people in the U.S. We have a large concentration of dickheads in the Northeast. It's just what it is. It's just the Northeast isn't a very friendly place. People aren't friendly. Uh, Customs and courtesies. What type of work do I do overseas? I'm actually retired, man. Um, So right now I'm just studying. I was gonna go back to school, use some of my GI Bill, or finish my GI Bill to go back to school. I have a master's and the top secret clearance. Is just that working for the federal government for so long, it kind of made me good on working for like right now. I was gonna go test to be FBI and stuff like that, but I really don't want to go live back in America, to be honest. Like, yeah, man. Like, I really, I don't want to deal with the bureaucracy of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to deal with the rainbow people having to, because I speak freely. You know what I'm saying? I like to speak how I speak. Um, I obviously use tact when I speak, but I would like to be able to say things like I don't agree with that. So let me see. Yeah. Okay. Same thing. Yeah. He's doing the same thing I'm doing. Just
just chilling, you know. Say, especially if he saved his money before, so where he could just kick back and chill. That's cool. But yeah, man. Yeah, I I wanted to go back into the federal government, but I don't agree with how the federal government treats their employees. Like, especially you're a younger dude. Like, okay, let's say me, right? Because of my degrees and my clearance level and stuff like that, I'm eligible for jobs that a lot of older people have right now, right? So if I get this job as a younger dude, they're watching me like a hawk, and it's fucking annoying. Like they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, you're supposed to be here at 08. You're here at 0807." They're writing it down, so they don't even tell you, right? They do that for like 2 weeks. The federal government, top secret. They'll do this for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Give the letter to your supervisor. Look, your employee or subordinate's been coming in late on these days by 5 minutes or 3 minutes because you don't clock in the federal government. There's no clock in system. You just use your badge to enter the restricted area. Boom. Press your badge, press the code, go in. Right. I'm not giving away too much information. This is just a process. I'm not divulging any secrets of national security, none of that. I'm just saying the process of how you check in federal government. Ask me what I did for working and shit like that, right? So yeah, before I fully retired, I was working for the Army, um, top secret capacity, and I just wasn't feeling it. As a young dude, it was just too much discrimination. I even had a job offer at the IRS in Chicago. I didn't want to go to Chicago because I was like, I'm young. I'm a little adventurous. I was a little adventurous when it came to dating. So I would go, I'm not going to lie, if it was a baddie and she was like, oh, block, back then, before I started, really living overseas, I would have went by O Block to pick up a chick and not really thought too much of it. Could have got set up, like, so I am good because I tried not to discriminate against people for where they lived, where they came from, type of job they had and stuff like that. But in America, in the world, you kind of do. I learned like you kind of do. You kind of have to learn people's background. You know what I mean? I think he was saying Kobe. Wait, who got the best player? Who's the best basketball player of all time? You're gonna say Allen Iverson. Of all time, that is a hard one. That is a hard one. That is a really hard one because I mean, there's a lot of people I liked. Like I like Tracy. I really like. I liked a lot. I liked. I mean, because this is just opinion. At prime, I like Melo. I like Carmelo Anthony in his prime. Nuggets Melo was snapping. That was one of my favorite. That was my favorite player of all time. Now, if you want to say who's the best, then statistically it's going to have to go to like LeBron James. But if who was my favorite player, I would say Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony was my favorite player of all time. But yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in, watching the show, helping a brother out. I appreciate it. Make sure you like it, you share it, you send it to your friends. I got Bible study in the morning. Hey, Bobo, I don't know if you did the whole Bible study thing when you got married, but we'll talk. Email me or whatever. Especially when you come back to Tanzania, email me, or Kenya, email me and we'll link up. Boo Boo, like I said, man, cool dude. I've been watching your content for a while, so yeah, just get at me, brother. Shout out to my people that supported my channel. Wait, Carmelo Anthony. Yo, I'm just saying that was my favorite player, man. Carmelo Anthony, that was my favorite player. Like I know people that like Kawhi. I don't like Kawhi. Kawhi was good defensively. I don't even keep up with ball like that no more since I don't live in America. I honestly, the only thing I keep up with in America is news. I don't keep up with anything like entertainment really related. I don't keep up with concerts. I don't know anything about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about none of that. I'm African. Like even people tell me like, yo, you're Tanzanian now because I keep up with the stuff like here. But I do watch the news and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm about to start rocking the Simba and Yanga football jerseys, the soccer jerseys out here. Really put on for my city. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. I wanted to do it later so people can. Wait, what is this guy saying? What player could take over the court any moment? Like, give me the ball. I mean, there's a lot of people that were able to do that in their prime. You're talking primes. Kevin Durant, Melo was able to do it. Kobe. Who else? Even who else was Dwayne Wade? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just go Braun. You know what I mean? Take over. Yeah. Shit. Steph Curry would take over with them threes and start splashing them joints. But consistently, I would say like it got to be between KD and Melo for my favorite players because those dudes was tall and they could move, they were dunking on people, and they could shoot threes. You know, I mean, some people like Giannis, but Giannis, the Greek freak, to me, he's really good. You know, he's a slasher, but I don't know, like he just missing like I don't know. Melo just had that smooth jump shot. KD too, you know, just water. He's missing a couple intricate pieces, man. But I do like a lot of basketball players. Old basketball. These new dudes are trash. The old ball players were really legit. But yeah, man, let me get off of here, man. Make sure you guys like and share. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'll be back on here on Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Tuesday, I'm gonna be on my boys' channel. Wednesday, I'm gonna be on here. Yeah, I mean, shout out. Thank y'all for the support. Real talk.